My piece over the weekend, Africa Calling. Of course, Africa is not a country. In fact, the continent is seriously non-linear. Booms and busts quite often occur simultaneously. However, what is clear is that the demographic surge, the overwhelming nature of the numbers of this born-free generation, despite beliefs that millennials make up a large proportion of the African population, they are less than 30% of this population according to the 2017 estimates by the African Development Bank. Africans aged between 15 and below make up 40% of the continent's population. Those below 19 years old are 51% of the population. This is according to Geopol. And I'm saying that demographic surge is creating a more homogeneous Africa. The arrival of the information century, which started with the mobile phone and the mobile internet, triggered a process of binding Africans closer to their fellow Africans. Once upon a time, when I was a young boy, we had one of the few landlines in Mombasa. That was my connection to the world. Today, I and millions like me know what is happening in real time across this massive continent of ours. What has occurred in the last 2 decades is surely a revolution whose velocity continues to gather speed. And when you look at the graph, which started at practically zero, it's a little dizzying, and I would like to write a book about it at some point. My favorite economist is a gentleman called Joseph Alois Schumpeter, who said, "Creative destruction describes the process of industrial mutation that incessantly revolutionizes the economic structure from within, incessantly destroying the old one, incessantly creating a new one." According to a report by InnoSight, hat tip to Holger for that, the 33-year average tenure of companies on the S&P 500 in 1964 narrowed to 24 years by 2016 and is forecast to shrink to just 12 years by 2027. I imagine one of my more jaded and hard-bitten Africa hands muttering, "Look here, Alika, in Africa, plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose." And I would respond, "Look here, buddy, stop dreaming. The change is here. It's already happened." Take a look at the banks. This is a Darwinian moment, surely. The most important role at this moment is surely that of artificial intelligence. I've yet to see any bank speak to this in any investor briefing meaningfully. Look at the retail sector. Globally, the retail sector has been completely disrupted. I have to believe that retail disruption has already reached our African shores. If you want an example of that retail disruption, just take a look at Kenya. At moments of disruption, there is always a great deal of debris scattered all over the place. My commute is along the Kiambu Road, which was once a quaint little used road into coffee-growing country, but today has morphed into a crazy Mad Max world where buses careering along the wrong side of the road in a red dust cloud is something the commuter has to consider as a relatively regular phenomenon. And as I peer through the dust, one thing I'm sure about is that e-commerce is coming. It's coming bigly, and a lot of these freshly minted malls, some of them just a couple of kilometers from one another, are headed for Ozymandias. "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains around the decay of that colossal wreck. Boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." Let me loop now to Safaricom, which will be reporting its full-year earnings on Wednesday morning. I don't need to remind you of Safaricom's centrality to the fortunes of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Safaricom has a market cap of $11.2 billion, about 43% of the total market cap of the Securities Exchange. Therefore, this is the big beast of earnings releases of the Securities Exchange. After hitting a record high on April 5, Safaricom corrected 20% through Friday morning. Citibank was surely the catalyst with a skeptical earnings perspective. Safaricom provided every Kenyan with an entry ticket into the 21st century. Jack Ma last year posed the question when asked about the infrastructure gap. But what is the most important infrastructure of them all? It's the information superhighway, and yours is fast. Safaricom is a need, not a want. By the dip, add to the position if we react lower on the results. Safaricom has built the superhighway. Everyone else is still playing the tarmacking game. You know what I mean. The roads around Westlands are the best example. Safaricom share price data can be seen on rich wrap-ups as well.